Look, we need to talk about the minions. Yeah, I know, the little yellow guys. The ones your aunt posts on Facebook with a quote about needing wine on a Tuesday. The ones plastered on backpacks, fruit snacks, and literally everywhere else. Society has collectively agreed that they are just bumbling, innocent, clumsy little sidekicks. But we are all so blind. Because if you actually strip away the bright colors, the slapstick comedy, and the gibberish, what you are looking at is one of the most terrifying, ruthless, and purely evil apex predators in cinematic history. I am entirely serious. The minions are not Gru's pets. They aren't bumbling idiots who just accidentally end up working for bad guys. They are an ancient, highly intelligent, parasitic species that actively pushes human history toward chaos. And today, I'm going to prove it to you using the franchise's own canon lore. So throw away everything you thought you knew about these little Tic Tacs, because the truth, it's dark. Let's start at the very beginning. The 2015 Minions movie literally gives us their entire evolutionary history in the first 5 minutes. We see them start as single-celled organisms in the ocean. And what is their very first instinct? What is the biological imperative hardwired into their DNA? Is it to survive? To reproduce? To find food? No. It is to find the most despicable, evil creature on the planet and help it dominate everything else. Think about how messed up that is for a second. They didn't learn to be bad. They weren't manipulated or brainwashed by a villain. Their literal biological oxygen is cruelty. If they are not actively facilitating the destruction of others, they get depressed. They become lethargic. We see this happen when they get trapped in that ice cave for a few centuries. Without an evil master to serve, they start literally dying of boredom. Evil isn't a hobby for them, it's a biological requirement. They are a virus looking for a host. And they don't care who the host is, as long as it causes maximum collateral damage. But wait, I can hear you typing in the comments right now. But they're so clumsy. They accidentally kill all their masters. They dropped a T-Rex in a volcano. Okay, stop.
Get some help.
Let's really look at this clumsiness. Throughout the franchise, we see the minions operating highly volatile nuclear machinery. We see them synthesize anti-gravity serums. We see them design, weld, and launch literal orbital rockets. They are hyper-competent, genius-level engineers. So, you're telling me that a species capable of building a shrink ray in a basement suddenly forgets how physics works when they're standing next to their boss? Please, it wasn't an accident.
There are no accidents.
It was an assassination. Let's look at the victims. They pushed the T-Rex into a volcano. Why? Because the T-Rex was obsolete. It wasn't dominating anymore. They exposed Dracula to sunlight. Why? Because a guy hiding in a castle isn't causing enough global terror. They fired a cannon at Napoleon. Napoleon. The minions are practicing eugenics on supervillains. The moment a master peaks, or shows weakness, or fails to be destructive enough, the minions cull them. They eliminate the weak host, and they move on to find a worse one. They use this whole oopsie-daisy slapstick routine as the perfect camouflage.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
No one suspects the clumsy yellow guy. It's the perfect crime. Now, the biggest defense people always bring up is Gru. People say, oh, but they love Gru. They helped him raise the girls. They're a family. Are they, though? Let's talk about Despicable Me 3. In the third movie, Gru makes a choice. He decides to leave the life of villainy behind. He wants to be a good father. He wants to be a hero, work for the Anti-Villain League, and provide a stable, loving home for his daughters. And how do his loyal, loving minions react to this beautiful character growth? They literally unionize, pack their bags, and abandon him. The exact second that Gru develops a moral compass, they walk out. They don't hesitate. They don't care about his happiness. They don't care about the girls. Their loyalty was never to Gru. Their loyalty was strictly to the cruelty he provided. They are parasites, and Gru just stopped producing the toxic energy they need to feed on, so they severed the connection. The only reason they ever tolerate Gru's softer side in the other movies is because he's still actively planning to steal the moon or use weapons of mass destruction. They aren't his pets. Gru is their puppet, and when the puppet stops dancing to their evil little tune, they cut the strings. If you're still not convinced, I want you to go rewatch any random scene from these movies and just look at the background. Don't look at Gru, look at what the minions are doing to each other. It is horrifying. When one minion gets crushed by a heavy object, or electrocuted, or slapped across the face, what do the others do? Do they help? Do they look concerned? No. They point and they laugh hysterically. They find physical pain deeply, profoundly amusing. They eagerly volunteer to test highly lethal, experimental weaponry on themselves because they literally lack basic empathy. They are a hive mind of pure sociopaths. And think about their language. Mignonese. It's a mishmash of Spanish, French, English, Italian, and Russian. You know what that implies? It implies they have been present on the front lines of every major global empire and likely every major conflict in human history. They have been watching us destroy each other for thousands of years, and they've just been taking notes, picking up a word here, a word there, while they help tyrants burn the world down. So, where does that leave our main guy, Gru? It actually turns Despicable Me into a psychological horror movie. Gru thinks he is the boss. He sits in his dark lair, he gives the orders, and he thinks he is the mastermind of his own destiny. He has no idea. He is just the human frontman for a terrifying, unkillable hive mind that possesses endless access to weapons of mass destruction. The minions don't work for Gru, and the absolute scariest part? The moment Gru gets too old, or too soft, or too boring, they won't just leave him again. They're going to hand him a rocket launcher, pretend to trip over a banana peel, and blow him off the face of the earth. Just like they did to Napoleon. Just like they did to Dracula. So yeah. Next time you see a minion plushie at Target, maybe don't hug it. If you guys enjoyed having your childhood completely ruined today, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments which innocent character I should expose next. And until next time, keep your eyes on the yellow guys.